was very struck by the seriousness of Srila Prabhupada. There on the poster there was a poster of Prabhupada in the temple in Manchester, a black and white picture of Prabhupada sitting on his bed in Bury Place, taken by Gurudas. But I used to think, why does he look so serious? Why isn't he laughing like the other gurus do? And then it suddenly hit me that life itself is so serious. And Prabhupada's gravity and the depth of his compassion came across from his picture. He asked me what the four principles were, and he said, do you vow to chant 16 rounds a day? And I remember saying, yes, Prabhu. I didn't address Prabhupada as Prabhupada. With all sincerity, I said, yes, Prabhu. Prabhupada, yes, good. I think Prabhupada's so past the lack of etiquette. You could see perhaps a little sincerity there. I was being very serious when I said it. Looking back, he should have chastised me very seriously, but it wasn't. There was one particular morning when very few of us were actually with Prabhupada. It was here at Bhaktivedanta Manor, and there were about 5 of us, and for the first third or so of the walk, Prabhupada didn't speak. He was just chanting on his japa. And then he reached the top of the road where the road turns off towards the right, just past Round Bush. And Prabhupada asked us a few questions. He said, he first of all started explaining how the living entities, they reflect the mystic powers that Krishna has. Krishna is full of mystic powers, but the living entities, they also have mystic powers. Just like the frog. Prabhupada said, the frog has yogic powers. You bury him in the ground, he will not die. I was walking next to Prabhupada. I said, but Prabhupada, the frog, he breathes through his skin. Prabhupada said, no, he has yogic powers. It's interesting. Since then, I've read of frogs and toads buried in solid stone for goodness knows how many tens of thousands, perhaps even millions of years. A quarryman cracking open a stone and a live frog or a live toad comes out. So they're actually having mystic powers to be buried for so long. There's a story when Prabhupada was walking around the lake one time. This was before the lake here at Bhaktivedanta Manor was cleared. Pointing from the far side of the lake, Prabhupada indicated a big mound of brambles and nettles and weeds. And Prabhupada said, this should be cleared. So over the next week it was cleared, and underneath this big pile of weeds and overgrown vegetation, we found a landing stage. It wasn't apparent. And later that summer, after it had been repaired and rebuilt, Srila Prabhupada sat down there by the side of the lake, looking at the lake, and he said, we should build an island and have a temple of Mahavishnu in the middle of the lake. And he described, as a child, some of the temples which were surrounded by water in the ghats, they'd have kirtan from boats. So he said, you should also have kirtan from the boats around the temple in the middle of the lake. Of course, the council being as restrictive as they are, we couldn't even get permission to put a fountain in the middle of the lake. What to speak of a temple. At that time Prabhupada was reminiscing about his childhood, particularly this pastime of having kirtan in boats. There was ecumenical meeting. Shamsundar had arranged for a few clergy to come and meet Srila Prabhupada. It was a sunny afternoon, so we met on the lawn. And Prabhupada was sitting down on the grass, and there were 3 chairs put out for some of the clergy who aren't accustomed to sitting cross-legged on the grass. 3 nuns arrived, and as they were sitting down, they respectfully said to Prabhupada, "So, you are the spiritual master of the Hare Krishna movement?" And Prabhupada said, "No, I am the spiritual servant." Very quiet. I don't even know if they heard him. But Prabhupada's vision of himself was very humble.
Je anilo premadana karuna prachu